You stay late to finish the project. You drop everything to fix a friend's crisis. You pour every ounce of your time and affection into a relationship, hoping that this time it will be enough. And what do you get in return? Indifference, a delayed text, a cold shoulder. When you hit that wall of apathy, the instinct is almost universal. You look at the situation and you blame yourself. You wonder what you did wrong. So you try harder. You adjust your tone, you lower your expectations, and you scramble to find the exact combination of words or actions that will finally make them see your value. The longer you stay in that loop, the heavier it gets. It feels exactly like screaming into a void. You sacrifice pieces of your own well-being for someone who doesn't even notice the effort, and a quiet, persistent thought starts to take root. Maybe I am simply not enough. But Swiss psychologist Carl Jung offered a completely different explanation for this dynamic. He argued that the desperate urge to plead for someone's attention has nothing to do with bad luck, and it isn't caused by the flawed people sitting across from you. Jung spent his life studying the deep, unseen layers of human cognition, and he reached a striking conclusion. Your progress isn't being halted by an unappreciative boss or a distant partner. You are being actively sabotaged by an unexplored, hidden sector of your own mind. As long as we treat a lack of respect as an external problem that can be solved by trying harder, we are misdiagnosing the condition. The barrier isn't out there, it's inside. Jung viewed the human psyche as a vast, uncharted landscape. He dedicated decades of his life to mapping the invisible architecture that governs why we behave the way we do, particularly when our actions actively harm us. This diagram illustrates how he categorized our internal world. Up top is the conscious mind, the parts of your personality you gladly show to society. But beneath that is a massive hidden region he called the shadow. The shadow is the vault where we lock away everything we repress, our deepest insecurities, our shame, and the traits we fear others will reject. Ignoring that dark region does not make it disappear. Instead, the psyche handles that pressure through a mechanical process called projection. Because you refuse to acknowledge the fears buried in your shadow, your mind casts them outward, superimposing those exact insecurities onto the people you interact with every day. Let's look at how this operates in practice. If your shadow is holding on to a core, unexamined belief that you are unworthy of love, your unconscious mind will actively seek out partners who treat you poorly. It bypasses healthy relationships and latches onto indifference, because a distant partner perfectly validates the invisible script your shadow has already written. We are unconsciously engineering our own suffering. We use the people in our lives as actors, casting them in roles designed to play out our unhealed wounds. Take the overgiver, who repeatedly attracts emotionally absent partners. They prepare elaborate dinners and send long paragraphs of support, only to be met with cold, one-word replies. They aren't acting out of affection. They are driven by a repressed, terrifying fear of abandonment. Or consider the employee who delivers flawless projects, yet their manager only points out minor flaws. They silently beg for a single word of approval, entirely driven by a deep-seated fear that they are simply not competent. In both cases, the psychological reality is identical. The people draining their energy are not arbitrary punishments handed down by the universe. They are living, breathing symptoms of an internal disconnection. Trying to convince an emotionally unavailable partner to care, or demanding respect from a boss who refuses to give it, is a complete waste of time. It is exactly like furiously scrubbing at a mirror, hoping to change the reflection looking back at you. By focusing all your energy on fixing external relationships, you fall into a trap. That external obsession is the precise mechanism that keeps your shadow safely hidden, ensuring that the actual cause of the stagnation remains untouched. Jung labeled the movement toward internal wholeness as individuation, the deliberate process of turning inward to face repressed fears and integrate the dark parts of the shadow into your conscious identity. The first mandatory step of this process is uncomfortable. You have to actively withdraw your projections. That means you stop chasing the people who ignore you. You stop begging for scraps of attention, and you sit quietly in the empty, silent space that is left behind. Establishing internal dignity means accepting that respect is a baseline requirement, not a reward to be bargained for. You stop pleading because you no longer see yourself as someone who needs to buy their seat at the table. When you integrate those fears, a tangible internal shift takes place. You stop broadcasting a frequency of desperation and lack. Instead, your actions and your presence begin to radiate a calm, self-assured stability. Growth demands absolute honesty. You have to find the courage to stop demanding from other people the love, respect, and validation that you have consistently refused to give yourself. Jung observed that when our internal state shifts, our external reality often follows. He called this synchronicity, the moment your inner growth starts to manifest as tangible changes in the world around you. When you stop begging, you alter the social contract of your environment. Toxic dynamics often require your active participation. Without your willingness to plead, those patterns lose their anchor. They either adapt to your new boundaries or dissolve entirely. Releasing draining relationships creates a necessary void. This space allows you to encounter connections that align with your current state of stability, rather than your past state of lack. Change starts the moment you stop trying to fix the reflection in the mirror and finally address the dark rooms of your own mind.